watching Twin Tier Sunday with Jennifer Sheahen.
Welcome to Twin Tier Sunday. This week we hit the orchards of the southern tier, from apples to pumpkins and anywhere in between. You're going to learn about it today, but right now we're starting at Stony Ridge Apple Orchard right in Erin, New York, and it is amazing. It might be a cloudy day, but you can still see for, I don't know, how far is that mountain behind us? Or
probably a couple, 3-4 miles.
There you go, 3-4 miles, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful place to go. My family and I came here over the weekend, so your last weekend, and we had such a good time picking all of the different types of apples. This is Liz. Her family owns this orchard. They built it from the beginning, and I kind of want you to explain, because it's a nice story, how this all got started.
My parents started about 24 years ago. They started with an original 10 apple trees that they planted in front of the house, and then my dad said, oh, I really like this, it's a lot of fun, so he put another 20 in, then the next spring another 20, and then another 40, and then it was 100, and now we're up to 11,000 trees. So we've really learned a lot over the years. It's been an exciting journey, but we really love to be outside, to work with the trees, be outside in nature. It's a lot of learning. All the different varieties of apples, the rootstock, all the diseases, the insects. So it's been a very interesting journey so far.
That's incredible. And then I guess, what kind of apples do you guys have here? What are the most highlighted apples, the ones that generally go first as well?
A lot of people love the Honeycrisp. That's the number one variety anymore. It's very popular. It's a sweet, tart, crunchy, large apple. It comes in the middle of September, so it's a pretty early apple. Then you have your good old favorites like your Macintosh, your Cortlands, your Macoons, your Empires, your Fujis, and then we have a couple different varieties that maybe people haven't heard of. We have a lot of Ginger Golds, Zestars, Crimson Crisp, and a couple other varieties that are, you know, the good old baking apples, your Spies. So there's quite a few options to choose from.
That's very nice. And do you think in the future that your two daughters will take on this farm?
That's my hope. We're trying to train them all the different aspects of the farm and the apples and the winemaking, and we try to tell them that nothing exists outside the 32-acre fence, but I don't know how far that's gonna go. But they're really, you know, enjoying it. Even the little one tries to help pick a few apples up, and just the little basics like teaching them, you know, how to pick an apple the right way. Don't throw it, don't drop it, don't bruise it, but it's sinking in a little bit. So we're hoping they're gonna catch on and take over when they get a little bit older.
Now it's kind of late in the season. Honestly, there's only, when this airs today, you've got probably another week to come down and pick apples, but it's not the only thing that you guys have here. You've got a lot of other things too that you can come and see year round, pretty much, right?
Pretty much. We do a lot of, we make our own apple wines here. We have 6 different types of wine, and we also have an apple cherry and an apple peach blend, and those are going very well. We have a full bar and full winery and store where we also have some crafts and baked goods and different things that we, you know, offer. We have a covered pavilion. We usually have a guitar player on the weekend, so you can drink some wine, have some donuts, listen to the music, have a little bit, you know, relaxation for the fall. It's a good kind of thing to do on a weekend or a weekday afternoon with the kids and grandma and grandpa. But the wine has been doing really good for us. We really enjoy it. It's a new aspect. A lot of people have never really had apple wine before, and with the whole hard cider industry that's really taking off, there's a lot more interest in local grown and local produced, you know, apple wines, apple ciders, and different things. So it's really good.
All right, so coming up in just a few seconds here, we're going to take a quick tour of the facility and what, you know, not just what it looks like, but how they make some of those wines, and maybe some other things we've got in store for you too. So we'll see you in just a few moments.
This is our barrel room at Stony Ridge Orchard and Winery. This is where we do a lot of our wine storage. As you can see, we have a lot of different types of oak barrels. We use mainly French oak, and we do some American oak. We've been very fortunate with the flavors that we can extract out of the barrels. We're very happy with how the French works with the apple wines. It gives a nice smooth flavor. We're also experimenting with a couple different types of oaked barrels that we have been playing around with a little bit to add a couple different flavors and things. But this is mostly where the wine gets stored. We do a little bit of cold fermentation in here, but the wine usually will stay in the barrels anywhere from 18 months to 4 years, depending on the variety that we are making. And as you can see, the barrels can be different shapes, different sizes. Some of them are older, some of them are newer. As you can also tell that we try to keep them stacked nice and neat. Sometimes that doesn't always happen. We have this middle row here. These are ready to be filled soon. They're going to get filled with some fresh pressed cider in the next week or two, and then they will get their yeast and their sugar at it, and they'll be ready for fermentation. Hi, welcome. This is our little store and bar wine area in Stony Ridge Orchard. We have 5 different types of apple wine. We had 6, but we're completely sold out of 1. We have a couple different ranging from very dry to very sweet. And then we also have an apple cherry blend and an apple peach blend. They're a little bit on the sweeter side. We also do a couple mixes. You can mix some of our wines with our apple cider, and it makes for a really nice drink, especially on these cool fall afternoons. But this is our tasting bar. Customers are welcome to come up and do tastings. They can do the whole flight of wine. We usually do tastings every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We will have a few limited hours during the winter time when it gets a little bit quieter. But you can always call ahead if you want to do a private tasting, or if you have a group that would like to come and taste some of our wines. The first wine that we have is our Desert Apple Blossom. This is the driest wine that we make. It's actually made with some of our Northern Spy apples, so it has a little bit of a tart flavor to it, but it goes down very easy. It's a perfect wine to pair with some of your different dinners. You can also use it for a little bit of cooking. The next wine we have is actually one of my favorites. This is our Semi-Sweet Apple Melody. This one is very smooth. It goes down really easy. It has a blend of some Honeycrisp and some Fuji apples in there, so you get a little bit more of an apple flavor with a little bit of sweetness to it. And then this is one of our blends. This is an apple cherry blend that we created right here. We do grow our own cherries also. This one is called Added Fruit Wine. It has the sweetness of the apples with a little tartness of the cherries, and we actually named it after our 5-year-old daughter because she's sweet and tart. And then we have another blend, which is Life is Peachy. This is a blend of 80% apples, 20% peaches. It's again a little bit of the sweetness with a little bit of the taste of the peach after. It's not too overpowering, and you taste a little bit of oaking, again from those French oak barrels that we use. And then this one is a favorite of many of our customers. This is Sweet Summer Apple. This is a dessert wine. It's a lot sweeter, and it has a little bit of a kick to it because he actually oaks this in a bourbon barrel, so it gets a little bit of that bourbon taste to it, and he calls it a bourbon gumdrop because it's so sweet with a little bit of a kick to it. And we have, like I said, we also have one more wine that we are sold out of right now. It's an Orchard Spice, which is a blend of apples and cinnamon, and it's also one of the wines that we offer that can be warmed up around the holidays like a nice mulling wine. And so these are the wines that we have right now. We're working on a couple others, but they will be coming out probably in the next year or two. Some of the other things that we offer in our store at Stony Ridge Orchard, we also have pre-picked apples available. We have quite a selection in the store. We usually keep a pretty good stock, especially if it's a rainy day or if you're running in after work. You can just stop in, pick up a little bag or a couple more if you're just looking for a little snack. Some of the other things that we also offer over here, we have quite a selection of, we make all of our own apple butter, apple jelly, we do a peach preserve, we also do a cherry jelly, we also do a peach butter, and these are very nice. You know, they go on your toast or your oatmeal or your waffles or your pancakes, and it's all made here, it's all local, the fruit comes right from the farm. We have our own beehives on top of the hill, so we have our own local honey. So it's very good because the bees do a lot of work for us, and they also give us their yummy honey at the end of the season. We also have quite a selection of homemade crafts and different things that we do ourselves. We have homemade handmade soaps. We also do soy candles. My sister does a lot of the jewelry and the craft making. She's very talented. She also has her own children's book that she had published herself. And we have just a couple of different options or little gifts you can pick up for family members or for the holidays or for a birthday. It's nice to have things that are made right here locally in Erin, New York. We're trying to expand some of the different options and different things that we can do. But it's always nice to stop in, pick up a few things. You know where it comes from. You can ask us anything about it because we made it. So it's nice to be able to do that too. And just a couple different things that we offer besides the wine and the U-Pick. So if you're not really wanting to go pick apples yourself, you can, like I said, stop in the store. On the weekends, we do more variety of baked goods. We have the apple cider donuts. We do apple strudel muffins. We do pumpkin rolls. We offer hot cider, cold cider, coffee, a couple different yummy things to snack on. The apple cider donuts are always very popular with the young and the old. Everybody seems to love them. Take home 2 or take home 2 dozen. And you can also come and get them, sit outside while the kids are picking, and enjoy a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon or a weekday afternoon, and just enjoy some of the local things that we have to offer here at Stony Ridge Orchard in Erin, New York.
Welcome back. I really wanted to showcase different farms throughout the southern tier, so now we're up in Lansing, and this place, Baker's Acres, is really cool because it focuses on a lot of different things. Go ahead and tell me about this farm, how it got started, and what is so special and unique about it.
Well, my mother started Baker's Acres in 1980. My dad was at Cornell getting ready to retire, and she thought he needed something to do after he retired from Cornell. And back in 1980, there was no place to really go and buy perennials and herbs. A lot of places to buy annuals, but trees and shrubs and perennials and herbs, there wasn't many places. And she felt it was something she could add to the community.
No, definitely. And that is a very unique thing. Right when you drive in, you're going to see all the different plants. And even if you don't want just the perennials, you guys also have the pumpkins and a U-Pick as well until the end of October.
Yes, my dad grew up in Sodus, New York, so his contribution was our apple orchards. And he worked with Geneva, and we have 25 different varieties of apples here that he took care of and just loved growing these trees. We have about 5 acres of trees. So yes, we have a lot of U-Pick apples. We believe very strongly in growing them eco-friendly so that there's not any harmful spraying on them. We want to take care of the bees in our apple orchards because we wouldn't have apples if it weren't for the bees. And of course we want to take care of the humans that eat the apples.
No, definitely. And that's what I've noticed too. Even when we were at Stony Ridge, they use very few pesticides or anything like that. And that's why you can tell when you see an apple that has less pesticides on it. It's a little bit smaller, but it's also a lot more flavor, I think, personally. And you guys have also a cafe on the property. You're releasing that to somebody else, but there is somewhere that you can come up here and eat as well, and a gift shop. Tell me about those two things.
Well, we have a building on the other side of the property that was at one time a Masonic lodge, and we turned it into a cafe, and also the woman who runs it, Kendra, is a caterer. We also have a gift shop in here behind us where we sell a lot of the products that you need to help grow your plants, plus local artisans come in and bring plant-related items to sell.
There you go. Very interesting. And now, so you're the daughter. Your sister also, I believe, works here and part-time.
Actually, people think we're sisters, but we're not. Her name is Kathy, and she has been with the company right in 1980 she started. And so she and I are both co-owners of the business.
We're in Jacoba's garden, and we have approximately about 20 gardens here at Baker's Acres for people to roam through, look at, get ideas, and find out how things actually grow. That's a lot of the reasons for our gardens, is people don't understand when they buy a small pot of a perennial that it's going to get huge at some point. So that's a lot of reasons for our gardens, and also to show people what things grow best in shade and what things grow best in the sun, what can take part shade, part sun. Just as an example, the acanthus here, bear's breech is a common name for it. This can take full shade, full sun, part shade, part sun. In full shade, it just doesn't flower as well, but it gives you beautiful foliage. Over here is a Duranthium, which will probably flower the end of October, which is nice because at that point we don't have a lot of color, and it'll go through a lot of the different frost. Back here behind me, if you can see this, this is little Henry Rebecca. It flowers this time of the year. Once we lose the yellow petals, we'll have the beautiful brown cones. So come to Baker's Acres, take a walk through our gardens, see what's growing, see how it grows, ask any question you want to Renee or I, and we can help you.
Welcome back. We are on our last stop, and yes, it is fall, so we had to make a stop at a pumpkin farm, but this farm actually has way more to offer than just pumpkins, believe it or not. This is Iron Kettle Farm. This is out in Candor, and it is a beautiful place. I came here last year and just had such a good time because they have so much to offer. All right, Jennifer, tell me a little bit about Iron Kettle, how it got started, and what you guys have to offer here.
Iron Kettle Farm was started in 1969 by my mom and dad. Just a few pumpkin characters alongside the road with a few pumpkins, and trying to support a family farm. And I have a brother, Brian, and a sister, Bonnie, and we're all back in the family business. So it's going well. We're heading into our busiest season, October, which is pumpkins. That's what we're really known for. We also do greenhouses in the spring and sweet corn during the summer, but we're really known for our pumpkin displays and stuff.
Definitely, and they have a massive amount of things to offer here. Honestly, just the pumpkins that you see behind us is nothing compared to what they have. How many different things do you guys have to offer here inside? You guys will see too behind us, there's a whole entire shop area.
We have a little gift shop called Grandma's Barn that started back when my mom became a grandma about 22 years ago. That's the oldest grandchild. And so it's just a little gift shop full of unique farm gifts, and we have some local craftspeople that bring in items on consignment, and then we also have lines of jam and jellies that we have private labeled, and then we also make our own jam and jelly here also, and fresh fudge, which is you can get in Grandma's Barn gift shop.
There you go. And what kind of fudge do you guys have to offer, and what is the process of making fudge? Because every time I've called, Bonnie is making fudge here.
Yeah, my sister Bonnie, she's in charge of making all the fudge, and she's been trying to get stocked up for our busy weekends coming up. She makes like peanut butter. That's one of our top sellers, chocolate peanut butter, maple walnut. She actually makes a pumpkin fudge and an apple fudge too, which is really good and seasonal. So she's got a special kettle that will heat it up, and she puts in a fudge mix and the butter and all the stuff, all the ingredients, and it has to run for a little while, and then we have to pour it off. And so that's what she's been doing. She's been pouring off fudge most of the time that you've called.
That's wonderful. And how much do you guys' pumpkins run as well? And then I know you guys have a lot to offer here that are already picked, but can people go out and pick them as well?
We do not offer you pick because a lot of our fields are not on this farm. We have pumpkins growing on other farms that we rent ground from and other property that we own. Our pumpkins range from like $2 on up to $10 for like the average size pumpkins, and then we also have some bigger pumpkins that will range from, you know, $20 to $40 to $50.
That's incredible. Yeah, they have some huge ones right behind us over here. A lot of vegetables as well. What kind of different veggies do you guys have to offer?
We grow our own winter squash here. We have butternut, acorn, and buttercup, that kind of squash. We buy in our apples from the Sodus area, which we've been buying in apples from the farms up there since I've been a little girl. I remember when I was just a kid growing up with my dad to get apples. It was always fun. So we still, same family that we've been getting apples with since the early 70s, we still do, which is nice.
And it's a very kid-friendly place. They have a lot of different things to do here as well. What activities and different places do you have within the farm here?
Well, what we're really known for is our spectacular pumpkin display, which is behind me, and that's all free of charge to go walk through. It's got nursery rhyme characters and storybook characters, and maybe even some Disney characters thrown in there too. And that's what we've always done, and that's always been no charge. So you're welcome to bring your family and come see all that at no charge. We do offer activities, which there is a charge for, and we have hay rides and corn mazes and like a little go-kart pedal tractor thing and obstacle course, a spook barn, all kinds of fun things to do with your family.
A spook barn. All right, what is in the spook barn?
It's not super scary because I don't like anything too scary. My family will say that I'm not a scary person. But we have, it's just like things that move, like motion, and I've got some projections in there and just kind of spooky things, not super scary. I don't like super scary or gory.
That is okay. So have you and your family, I guess, and then have you now your children have all been raised in this farm here?
Yep, I have the youngest two of the 9 grandkids. I have a boy that's 11 and a daughter that's 8, almost 9, and yeah, they're starting to work at the farm. My 11-year-old helps sell tickets with my husband on weekends, and the 8-year-old, she's wanting to work more. She still goes to her other grandmother's on weekends a little bit, but she wants to work more. And then yeah, we've got my sister's 2 youngest help us on the farm. Her oldest are in college, so we're really missing them this year. But and then we get a lot of our high school kids that come in and help us take tickets and stuff too. We really try to support our community of Candor and gives the kids some jobs and stuff on weekends and stuff. So
that's wonderful, and it's like really a family-based business. And I'm sure growing up that was, and even now with your kids, it's a different kind of feeling for you, and it almost adds a little bit of a heart too here at the Iron Kettle. Is there anything else you would like to add about the business, about the experience here, anything at all?
We're really trying to create a place where people can come bring their families and just enjoy themselves, visit our animals in the barn, and just have a nice family experience. You know, it's a family-run farm. And we really appreciate all the business that we have gotten over the years and all the support, which we really appreciate. We know without our customers that we wouldn't be able to do this.
There you go. And what times are you open?
The farm market and farm grounds are open every day, 9 to 6. And the activities tend to start on weekends around 10 o'clock. And during the week, we sometimes have school groups. So usually about noontime, school groups start to clear out, and we are able to run activities in the afternoon.
That's wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Twin Tier Sunday. I'll see you next week.